Our topic is about the modern art museum of Fort Worth. It will be in Toronto. It will be in the outer international country. And today I have to say something about the Y-shaped columns in every area. So this concept which will be regards to the Y-shaped columns and which will be used in the previous international projects and now and also I will explain the practical mathematical analysis also for to calculate the y-shaped columns also. Three things I will cover of it, and first of all I will explain what is the load transfer which will be available on the when we are designing for y direction y-shaped columns. So let me go to the topic. And you can see this new modern this architect only designed the proposal in the 1997 and it was chosen in the 1987 and it will be the very it's a big new to the projects, so that is not important thing. And they have a vision to make you can see here the right, and there is a y-shaped columns. They have a vision to make it and connect to the inside outside and the concrete boxes. And the main structural conundrum is that they have taken is load bearing concrete walls, columns, and Y-shaped columns. Okay, and also they have a separate cantilevers also, which will be like that. And a two-way like system, they may have a grid on that roof floor slabs. They used shear walls, columns, and Y columns and slab barricade. And you can see these load bearing columns, which will be used. Moreover, the more areas compared to the normal areas. Some columns only they may also used as a load bearing columns will be there. So most of all they have used the load bearing concrete walls and as well as the shear walls. So here you can see that the Y-shaped columns. See, they used this Y-shaped column to take over all the cantilevers which will be available at the end of the roof, and also the distributes the load to a single element. So they have to transfer all the load from here and here to a one column. So that's the concept that they become the Y columns. So you can see here right, the two-way slab system like system. Here's the plate system. So here's a plate system. It will says that it will says the one-way slab. Here is a two-way slab. Here the mention of it, because here it is a cantilever portion, and the load will be taken from the cantilever also, and the half of the load here, and here also half of the load on the cantilever portion area. So this is the critical area. So they need to provide a one column with two load transfer. That's why they make the y direction low slab plate roof system. Now you can see the connections. What are the connections they use? The Y-shaped column is made up of four precast components which all bolt together, and the connection between the slab plate and the Y columns creates a triangular shaped truss-like element in the V of the Y. The producing tension in the span between the top points and the compression between the two of the elements. So they are saying that they use the precast system and make it into a four, and first they interconnected with the V shaped and make into Y shape. Okay, and the top points they have a tension development in the area and compression in the two top points, that is in the form of a Y. So this also I can show something about the mathematical equation, how the tension to be calculated and the compression to be calculated. Now you can see that the Y column, as I said, first of all they make the weak center column is they already casted, and they make a V-shaped precast system which bolt together, and they make it to connect it to a one column system. They didn't cast that three things in a separate points. Now we can see this how the mechanism of the Y column it was happening over here. So now I am going to say that this is the load. If you imagine here the roof is there, so load will be transferred on the point load. It will transfer to here, then the center position, and from to the column internal. So same wise it will happen to the two in things. If the length of the span will be there, the half of the load will be transferred here and transferred to here. So this is the way the way of the column internal forces will be developed. The mechanism of the Y-shaped building, Y-shaped columns also developed. Yeah, they have a separate reason also. They provide in the lateral resistance by means of transferring the loads to a concrete shear walls. Yeah, that I can say here. See, this is they use the shear wall system to make a lateral resisting system. It's with respect to the roof system. and the vertical loads. So now another thing they said that about the vertical loads will be transferred to the center column and also to the load bearing concrete walls. It should be separate parts they are making of it. So about the 1650 from the concrete, the Y columns will be made. The slab in the two-way system. So what is they are going to slab will be, which I said previously, slab will be in the two-way system. They carries the 2-point load in the left side and right side column, and a point transfer to a single column. So they are have a single vertical element transferring the load into a ground. So now you can see the distributor roof load, how the distribution happened here. So this is the cantilever, the load distribution will be like this, and how the load will be transferred to the column from the to the foundation, from the roof and from the to the column, then the through column they return to the foundation. So now you can see that the cantilever shear and the moment. So of course if it is from this here is the two y-shaped, okay, y-shaped v-shaped element is there. So actually it will act as a total element. It will act as a total cantilever, and moment and shear before diagram will be like this. So total moment and parabola will be like this. So we have to take care everything perfectly. So previously I said that say here is the two-way system, and previously we seen something regarding of how the load transfer. So that's the same criteria we are saying, we are going to face it. So there is a roof, so two-way system, so half load will be transferred. It is a forward critical. So okay, because of there is a cantilever also is there, so we have to take the half of load and the cantilever rods, and we have to transfer into this element and check the compressive forces, and during these 2 points what is the tensile forces they are developing. So if you imagine like this, there is a roof is here, there it will develops the tensile forces, it will develops the compressive forces. So this is the concept they are located of it, and you can see the load how the load transfer happening here to the Y column. You can see here, right? So this is a roof, and all the loads will be transferred to this column, this Y-shaped element, and this Y-shaped element, this Y-shaped element, Y-shaped element, Y-shaped element is passing to the center of the center of a column. Okay, this is the biggest thing they done to take over the two loads at in a single element. So these are the things they done to transfer the loads, and they make a mechanism concept to this, and they finally achieved of it. Okay, fine. Now we know about how the mechanism of the Y-shaped columns behaving in the behaving and the tensile forces and the compressor where it will be acting of it. So now I can show where is the giving by, and this is the form sample calculation which is used for Y-shaped concrete columns. And I will show the something some calculations now, and after that I have some example also one sheet, and I will explain through the some example area and the column size and everything, and the point load how much we can calculate by the same. Just I give the some rough explanation about it, and you can see there's two columns will be there. This is the roof area which will be discussed in the last PPT, and here you can see there's area 1, and here is the area 2. How is differentiated, right? There is a two column, right? This is the two column, this is the pointed here, and we have to take the half of load from here, and here everything cantilever, so it will be coming into to this column. Same category come to this column. So this is the diagrammatic explanation of a column, Y-shaped. You can see the Y-shaped, and the center column will be there. So load transfer from the A, from the B to the C, C to D. This is the main concept behind this, and we have to find the what is the load here. What is the load here? How is the load is transferred to here? So we can now make a notation A, B, C, D. Okay, and from the V-shaped, how much height? From the V-shaped to center column, how much height? So this is the scenario behind it. So total span divided by 2 divided by 2. Okay. And this is the scenario. So first we have to calculate the design load. Design load, how much the load is transferred to this column. So that is will be self-weight, dead load, live load, and self-weight of the slab, and everything we have to translate, and how much total kilonewton per meter square we have to calculate it. Then we have to point load. We have to now point load we have to calculate P1 and P2. P1 equal to Q1 into Q into A1. So Q is the design load into A1. So P2 is the Q is the design load into A2. So how much design load, how much load accordingly. Okay, we can get the total point load to this this V-shaped area. Then we have to find the reaction C, reaction D, because after transferring this load, they are transferring to the C, transferring to the D. So we have to find the transferring to the reaction at C. How much loads? That will be P1 and P2. We have to add together. We can get to the reaction at the joint C. We have to find the reaction at the D, because after the reaction C, the load is transferred to the RD. So RC plus weight of the frame. So RD, RC, that is here load transfer the reaction. That load reaction is equal to P1 plus P2, we already said, plus weight of the frame, which is the weight of the frame, self weight of the frame, we have to add out it. From that we can get the reaction of the D. Then we will be how to find now the we have now the thing have to point out the compressive forces acting here and the tensile forces how much acting here, because the behavior is in the form of a from tensile force acting at the top and the compressive force in the slanting position. So tensile force at A to B. So FAB equal to RC, total load is transferring to here into L divided by 2 times of H1. So this is the formula behind it. And compressive force to the member A to C and B to C. And you can see that FAC equal to root of FAB square plus P1 square. And for the FBC we have to find it. So that will be root of FAB square, tensile forces square, plus P2. How much the load is transferred from the P2. Okay. Then will be the total tensile force at the tie X. So we have to find the tensile force at this section area, because the load transfer from the compressive area into a tension area, then will be transferred to the axial load section to the column. So what is the formula behind this? Ft equal to FAB into Y. FAB, we have the finder of the tensile forces into Y, and by H1 we get the tensile force of the relation. These are the forces, these are the formulas we can get to the what is the values behind the these Y-shaped areas. Now I can say the some small example. Okay, some small example will be there, and you can see that same panel and this Y-shaped frame and A, B, C, D, and the P1, P2, and height which will be 1.5 from here to 2.2, and that slab which will be around these two column will be 2.8, 2.2. So first of all we have to find the area. So we have to area for a A1, for a A2. So total distance divided by 2, total load is transferred to here into this distance. Total load distance divided by 2 into this distance. We can get to the meter square. Then will be the point load. Okay. This point load will be what is the point load we have to find? It means I said already total design load into area. So total design load for this area 335 kilonewton per meter square into this area A1. Some way same Q I make it, but if you check it by the practically it will come different Q values. So we have to put it and we have to apply on it, and we can get the 215.6 kilonewton. And then now we have the position to check over the tensile force and compressive force. We already said that tensile force FAB equal to P1 plus P2 into 2.4, okay, and divided by 2 into 1.5. This is the value will be provided for this. And this what is the formula? We can see in the we can check in the previous slide, and from that we can get the tensile forces. Now the have to find the tensile compressive force at the A to C, B to C. So that we have to find means we already have to find out the tensile force the square plus 215, that is P1. How much load? Same FBC tensile square the square plus F only P2. So we can get to the compressive force. What is the reaction at the D? Okay, already we know that P1 plus P2 plus WFR. So this is the reaction at the D. So from that we got the everything, tensile forces, compressive forces, P1, P2, everything RD also we have. Just apply the reaction, everything will be alright. By method first make it to the StatPro model, and you can also get the reinforcement for this element, and this will be the fine example for the basic concept behind the Y-shaped columns. and I hope that this will be helpful for you, and subscribe and comment for my further videos. Thank you.